Welcome to Flow. Let's get started. Today we'll start off in a cross-legged position. Bring your hands to your knees with your palms facing down or palms facing up. Allow your eyes to close or find a soft gaze and take a few moments here just to focus in on your breath. Feel your ribs expand with every inhale and feel your belly deflate with every exhale. From here, we move into a little bit of a self-jaw massage. So take your fingers right to your jaw, and then you can start to make some little circles with your two fingers. Apply a little bit of pressure, or maybe a lot of pressure. And then if you'd like to, maybe find a little bit of movement with your jaw, just up and down or side to side. If you want to go a little into the neck, that works too. Just trying to find a lot of release in this area where it's very easy to hold on to tension. Let your jaw be heavy, and then slowly release your hands down. Take one big breath here with your jaw nice and loose. And now start to transition your legs. Uncross your legs, bring your feet so they're flat. Bring your hands behind you and just start to windshield wiper your knees from side to side. In this series today, we're going to be focusing a lot on internal and external rotation of and from the hip. So this is just a good way to start noticing and feeling our internal and external rotation. Now hold over to the right and come into a 90-90 shape, meaning that your front right knee is parallel to your right hip and same with your back leg. And then release yourself up and over your front right leg. So this brings us into a nice little easy hip opener on the right side. Find breath into this early hip opener. And now slowly press yourself up and we move to the opposite side. So bring your left shin so it's parallel. Your knee and your ankle are in the same line. And then release your body over your front left shin. Find heaviness through your torso and just breathe into this outer glute stretch. Nice full big breaths in and out. And now slowly bring yourself upright. And we take these windshield wipers just a few more times to get a little bit deeper into the internal and external rotation of the hip. And now slowly bring yourself around to an all fours position, and then from there transition to downward facing dog. And you can take a few moments in this first downward facing dog if you'd like to pedal through your feet or maybe take a little bit of movement through the head or the neck. And then come into a neutral position and lift your right leg. With your right leg lifted, bend your right knee, pull your knee towards your chest, and then draw 5 big circles out to the right with your right knee. Finding a little bit of lubrication through your right hip joint. After you've taken 5 in one direction, find that the opposite direction. And then re-extend your right leg straight up into the air after your 5 rotations. And then find downward facing dog, bring your feet together, and we take this to the left. So inhale, lift your left leg. Now bend your knee in half and then pull your knee towards your chest. Open your left knee out to the side and draw 5 big circles. Continue to press solidly into your 2 hands. And after you've taken 5 circles in one direction, go ahead and take this the opposite way. Maybe each circle gets a little bit bigger, increase your range of motion. After your 5 circles, extend your left leg and come back to downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, walk your hands back towards your feet. Ragdoll pose, bend your knees a lot, let the crown of your head just drop down to your mat. Notice any tension you're holding on to in your jaw, try to find a little bit of movement there. And then slowly roll yourself all the way up to stand. Your head will be the last thing to arrive. And then once you get there, find a little bit of movement if you'd like to roll through the shoulders. We're coming into a balanced posture, so shift your weight over towards your right leg, pull your left knee up, one-legged mountain, reach your arms up. Now start to internally and externally rotate your leg. So your shin and your ankle will be moving a lot, but this should initiate from the hip. We do this 5 times, 5 internal, 5 external. And then after your 5th time, we're moving into a figure 4. Bring your hands to heart center And then from here, bring one hand to the ankle, one hand to the knee. Try to lift your leg up and then place it back down. We take this 5 times. This is a great stretch for your outer left glute. It's also a very challenging balance exercise. Actively press down through your bottom right foot every time that you straighten your knee and stand up. If you fall out of it, no big deal, just come right back into it. After your 5th time, extend your left leg forward and we take 5 little pulses here. Try to stay completely parallel, meaning your 5 toes are pointing straight to the sky. And then move into an airplane pose. Extend your left leg back long behind you. Try to square your left hip down towards the mat. Energize your chest, your sternum forward. And now bend your bottom knee. We come into a high crescent lunge, a tricky transition from one balanced posture into another. High crescent lunge, feel your right knee track right over the right toes. Take a full big breath in and then bring your hands to frame your foot. Now this next lunge is called a boomerang lunge. It's easier to take this if you shorten your stance. So bring your back foot closer to your front foot and now turn all of your toes towards the right side of your mat. Bring your weight onto your left hand and I want to start to arch this up and then lower the hips down. So it's kind of like a rainbow arch with the top right arm. This is getting deep into the outer right glute, which I'm sure you're noticing. You can be kind of on the pinky toe edge of that front right foot as I'm showing here. Really press into the left hand. That's truly your kickstand in this posture. After your 5 times, move back to your low lunge and back to a high plank and then to downward facing dog. Walk your feet forward to your hands, bend your knees a lot, and then slowly roll yourself up to stand. We're gonna set this up on the opposite side. So when you're ready, shift your weight into your left foot, pull your right knee up, reach your arms up, and we start to play around with internal and external rotation through your top leg. So we use external rotation a lot in our movement, but we also use a lot of parallel positions and a lot of internal rotation as well. So it's just as important to work. Just as important as it is to work our rotators in a turned out position, it's that important to work them in a turned in position. Come down to your figure 4, grab your foot, grab your knee, lift your body, and then release. We take this 5 times total with breath. It's definitely a tricky balance moving up and down. Continue to plug down into your left foot. And if you want to go a little bit deeper into the glute stretch, continue to encourage your right knee open to the side. 5 times total, move with your own breath. And then after your 5th time, extend your right leg straight out and we take 5 little pulses just up and down here, completely parallel through the hips, shoulders right over your hips. After your 5th, transition your body into an airplane pose. So your right foot will energize and extend back behind you while your sternum energizes forward. Breathe into the strength, into the balance here. Bend your bottom left knee, high crescent lunge. Lightly place your right foot back behind you. Find a moment for balance and stability in this posture. Find big breaths here. And then on your next exhale, bring your hands down to frame your front left foot, and we're moving into this boomerang lunge again. So I think it's best to shorten the stance slightly. Rotate your toes to point towards the left side of your mat. So I'm rotating to the outer edge of my back left foot, and then actively press down into your bottom right hand as you lift and lower through your hips. Find this nice arch, this big boomerang here. Press down actively through both feet. You'll feel a pretty deep stretch through both outer hips. And after your 5th time, bring yourself back to your low lunge, move back to high plank, and then pike your hips up, downward facing dog. Walk your feet again up towards your fingers for forward fold. Now bring your heels in and turn your toes out. We're coming into a turned out forward fold. So we're finding some hamstring flexibility while moving into external rotation. My heels are not completely together. Yours can be, and my turnout isn't super extreme. Go to your own range of motion with the turnout. Find a bend of your knees if that feels better. We're going to feel the stretch a little bit differently in the hamstrings than you would in a parallel or a turned in position. Just something to notice and acknowledge. And now we transition to a parallel position. So my feet are about hips width distance apart. You can bend your knees here. Try to bring your torso closer towards your thighs. Shake your head yes and no. Find release through your neck. And now our final position will be a turned in position. Now for this turned in position, it might not feel so great for your knees. If that's happening to you, decrease your turn in. Always be aware of pain versus stretch. If you're feeling pain or pull in the knee, then decrease your range of motion. Maybe you find a soft bend through your knees. If you're finding that, make sure the knees are tracking right over your toes in this turned in position. Let your head drop heavy. And now we slowly release, bend your knees and bring yourself all the way down to the ground. Extend your right leg out to the side and then bring your left leg back behind you. We're starting with a hamstring stretch. Reach your arms up, rotate towards your extended right leg and then release yourself up and over your right leg. Nice long hamstring stretch here. Breathe into this space. Take a full big breath in. And a full exhale. And bring yourself up. We're moving into a quad stretch. So option to stay right here. If you feel comfortable, you can recline your torso back onto your elbows for a deeper quad stretch. Just as before with the other stretches, be aware, is there painful pulling in the knee? If that's happening to you, bring yourself up. We want to find a stretch through the front of the leg into your quadricep. And now slowly press yourself up and we switch to the opposite side. So extend your left leg and then bend your right knee behind you. Lift your arms up, rotate towards your extended leg and then release yourself up and over. And then find your breath here. Every exhale, allow your torso to go a little bit heavier. And now slowly press yourself upright. And then from here, we'll move into that quad stretch. So option to stay right here if you feel it, or option to recline your torso back, maybe come to lean on your forearms or your elbows. If you feel comfortable, you can continue to lie back all the way down on your back. Breathe into that stretch in the front of your leg, into your quadricep. If you feel any painful pulling, bring yourself out of this. And then wherever you are, slowly begin to make your way out of this stretch. Bring yourself around to sit. Bring the bottoms of your feet together, knees open to the side. Bring your hands to your ankles, lift up through your chest, through your spine on your breath in. And on your exhale, start to crawl your torso and your hands forward. Bound angle, nice hip opener here, nice groin opener. You're gonna even feel this nice opening into your back. Let your breath be the best tool to create space here. With every exhale, let your torso become a little heavier into your stretch. Maybe try to crawl your fingertips just a little further away from your legs. Final breath in this stretch. And then slowly roll yourself up and bring yourself all the way down onto your back, however you need to get there. Pull your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a tight squeeze. And now release your legs long and heavy. Bring your arms down by your side. You can bring one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart. Allow your eyes to close or find a soft gaze. And give yourself a few final moments of stillness and silence here. Come back to the movement of your breath. Thank you for joining us today. And that's your flow.